right, so here today, I thought I'd update this as it's been 4 entire months since I last uploaded this video. So I thought I'd re-upload it here, going through it again as we've gotten some relics over here for the entire bird, deer, skull, snake, dragon, whatever we call that one, and squirrel. But yeah, nobody can actually craft the squirrel relic yet, unless you're a whale, which why are you watching this if you're a whale, bro? Most likely you've done everything. But for the most part, this one, it's not happening for a while. Remember, it's always worth it to try your best and try to clear one floor. It's, again, the first floor is pretty easy if you have the characters. It's just time consuming and, you know, just annoying. That's it, right? If you have the characters, you'll get through it. It's just your sanity won't make it through with you. You know what I mean? That's where it stands. But today, we're going to go through this. We're going to tell you which ones, each ones are the best ones, as always, and go through it that way. Make a priority list. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Helps out a ton. Let's hop into it, and let's get into it, all right? Let's go right away for the bird. A lot of relics over here to kind of aim for. But remember, as always, with every demonic beast I tell you, just make sure to grab the relic for the character that's for the demonic beast. As always, that's going to remain the same. If I make this video 5 years from now, if the game's still alive, that's going to be the same thing I'll tell you every day, being you got to craft the relic for the character the bird's made for, or the beast is made for, right? So basically, if you have Magilda, craft Magilda's relic. If on this one over here you have Yorm, craft Yorm's relic. Like, think about that logically before you do, and then again craft accordingly. So that's there. As always, it's number one for the demonic beast unit itself. On to number two. Again, it's more of a rough. What the hell's Magilda, bro? Oh my god, let's just start at the bottom. On to number two. There's a lot of characters here that are very good, per se, correct? A lot of characters that are used in Final Boss content, whether it be this one over here, which you saw 2 Final Bosses ago, she started getting used. Again, we'll get back to that in a second. There are really solid characters here. It just depends on first who you use and who you plan to kind of move forward with in this game, correct? Let's say first things first, who survived the longest? Let's do that. Basically, who survived the longest is going to be between, obviously, Escanor. If you want Escanor to work, it's a good thing to have, first off, at CC. And whatever the passive is, you kind of want it, right? LR Escanor is a character used here and there. If you use him for human team, it's CC and passive. So you need it. You require it. Without it, it's moronic, correct? That's the first thing. Second thing, obviously, Arthur used to be used with this thing. Lately, now, it's no longer a thing where you need Arthur of this caliber. You need the new Arthur. So remember that. But again, if you are still running this team, or if you're using this for PvE content, or chaos or whatever you're using this for, it's not a bad character to have. But again, on the priority list, I don't think it's up there. Escorn definitely is because of his LR and because of how he's used. Gother, still one of the best relics of them all. Literally, if you try to use this character on any demonic beast content, he will farm it for you in like seconds. He probably is still the fastest character to help you farm if you don't have most of the newer characters, right? Still, I think that if you were to like comprise a team of him, it's very powerful. His relic is just beautiful. When you hit max, increases everything basically with 25%. It's pretty freaking nasty, and it's a very powerful relic. This over here, again, for Final Boss content is a pretty good one to go for. So again, that's there. Twigo, his relic is really good again, as he's used on bench in here and there. I don't know if nowadays he's used, but for PvE content he is. So again, CC, whatnot, whatever it is, it's just a useful relic to have. The rest of it down here is very mediocre, so just go about it like, you know, normally. Hawk's relic is just viciously bad. HP 15%. That's like a chaos mode PvP type thing and nothing more. This over here, Brunhild's relic, is just okay. If you're using Brunhild at all, kind of worth it, I guess. Sigurd, not really. These characters, again, most things haven't survived. Again, always this character is fine because they're still used per se in like chaos PvP and other stuff. So passive wise for CC and whatnot, it's okay. Not really. Gother now has a brand new unit. It's just an additional small little stat here. This thing's pretty useless. These things, yeah, I don't know. So for the most part, whatever I label to you, those are the things to kind of go for. Everything else is just very mediocre nowadays. As it's just that's what happened, right? So again, go for the characters that are still used. That being like LR Escanor, that being like, again, as mentioned, these characters over here. So Magilda, obviously, Gother over here, these two over here. It's just good here and there for whatever, right? That's basically it. Over here on the deer, correct? For these things over here, basically the unit you want to go for 100% is this one nowadays, correct? So after Yorm, obviously, I'm 100% sure about that. Make sure you crafted Yorm. Also, LR Liz, can't forget LR Liz. LR Liz is another character here you have to go for, right? With the introduction of LRs, a lot of characters getting revived here, and their relics are needing kind of craft from you, correct? Needing you to craft them. Let's go with that one. Just butcher the English there. But yeah, you want this, right? You really want this for the LR character. Again, being Liz. Everything else, I would say, like, even yeah, this one over here, LR Margaret, correct? It's a very powerful relic. If you're using LR Margaret, you kind of want it. But I want to make this clear. On your priority list, you should have this up here. For Liz over here, it's a PvE relic where it gives you for the first 3 turns 50% increase. Oh my god, this relic is so good for clearing anything. Literally, it turns everything into a 2 to 3 turn clear, whether it be final boss, whether it be whatever content. So if you want to do things faster, that's there. But if you want to go priority list, it's Yorm into LR Liz 1,000,000%, then into LR Margaret, in my opinion, then going down to LR Liz. This one over here, or sorry, this Liz, correct? That's like the entire way I would do it, right? Beyond Liz, if you are running this team over here with, what's her face? Elaine, this works too. Remember also that King needs his relic per se because of the new snake content, so you want to craft this at some point. Yes, this King may have fallen off, but this King is very good, and he's kind of used here and there for a lot of stuff. So if you want to go and do it, it's definitely a recommended thing. Liz, if you still use her nowadays, it's definitely an okay thing to go for, but again, most people don't use her anymore. Ludo nowadays, no one uses her. Him, rather her. Depends on what you... Him. This is the her. Him. This over here, again, is, as mentioned, pretty good. You'll need this for CC, because you're going to be using Tarmlink anyways, so the CC is there. You're going to need this regardless, because, again, Sariel, you're using it as a link, so you need these CC things over here. These two, Sariel and Tarmiels, are just kind of useless nowadays. This Liz, I rarely see her, but here and there, they pop up for, like, a final boss, but you don't need it. This is the Liz. This is good enough, bro. But other than that, I would say nobody else. I would say that's basically this one, right? Yorm into LR Liz, into LR Margaret, into this Liz, into like that King, and then Tarmi and Sari. So that's it. Very cool stuff there. Skull and Hottie, yes, dude, I gotta farm this account. I do so bad with this stuff. I gotta farm it. I just get lazy, bro. But with this, a lot of characters that kind of require building. Let's go to the best one, obviously. You need her, right? You need her completely. Make sure you get this character and then use the relic. It makes farming this 10 times easier. After this, I still stand by my statement. I will never switch up, and I will stay by this till the day I die. This is the second best relic to craft when it comes to Skull and Hottie. Oh my god, what a great relic. Nanashi is still used everywhere when it comes to the unknown team. He still has not been replaced yet. We're waiting for the day for him to be replaced, but right now my Nanashi is staying 6/6 and staying with this wonderful relic. It is such a beautiful relic for anything unknown content related. Put them in any content that they shine in, and they're gonna destroy with Nanashi, right? Beyond that, who do you want to go for next? Personally, if you're running LR, what's his name, Gloxinia, you kind of want to go LR Glox because again, it's a pretty solid character, and whatever help Glox needs, just give it to him if you're using LR Glox, which most people aren't. On the other side, there's like, if you're still using Zeldris as a passive or a bench unit, it still works, right? It still functions, and it's always worth it to have this extra against CC and passive, so that's fine. For like content such as, I don't know, like Hero Arena here and there, and some other contents like Scotty and this Matrona are used a lot, but as for a free-to-play, it's like mostly not the case. You're not really going to per se use them. Over here, like this King over here is not a bad relic. It's a really good relic, really damn good relic for PvE. So you'd probably use this more than those other ones. If you're using like farming team, if you're using this King in PvP or whatnot, this is a very powerful relic. So again, mostly that's there. But yeah, this like again, Skull and Hottie's kind of got more watered down as time has progressed. So I would definitely say that if you were to start it, go for this one over here, then go for Nanashi. Then after that, maybe go for this if you want a bench unit, correct? Depends on what you use. Then hop over here and get this one. It's a pretty good relic for what it is. Then get King, right? Or actually, before Glock, screw Glocks, right? And then also screw Zeldris up here. Just go for King. Very good PvE character. So King into Zeldris, then into Glocks. Then again, you can just scatter around, do whatever you want. Chandler's relic is still pretty good. I do use Chandler for Hero Arena here and there, which is pretty powerful. The Matrona relic is pretty powerful for what it is. This one over here is mainly just for that DN, and then these three are just, what it is. I think Scotty's the better one, but everything else is kind of just mediocre. And nowadays, you just don't really use these characters, but that's there. So, yeah, that's what I would definitely say for this one over here. For Nidhog, this is a big one, all right? I recently did this one, I guess, in a way when I talked about who to craft for your free relic. But remember, it should always be the characters you're using. Some of us might not be using the Freya team. If you have Freya and you're using her and you plan to use her, it does make it a lot easier. And like the fastest team, in my opinion, requires or has Freya on. It is the fastest team with it. So you want to craft that first, as always. That will help you craft more. After you craft Freya, given she's the demonic beast unit, you then want to go and craft whatever you're looking for. First, I would say the best one is still Freyr. Unknown team carry, he's going to make every 3 demonic beasts, all of them, even faster to farm and even better to farm. For PvP content, he is still pretty solid for whatever you're going to use him for. For story content, for bosses, for everything, this character is just a shining beam, bro. I think, what's that called? That one content he's also used in, the Demon King. I think he's also used there, but he's used everywhere. You really want to use this character. He's used constantly, and it is a very worth the character to invest into. But if you're not running Unknown Team, you don't give a damn about that, you can definitely scrap that one. But again, going back here, you go with this first. Second, if you're using LR Zeldris, you might want to go for that, because again, it's, you might be using him, so you definitely want it. If you're not using LR Zeldris, we'll then go for, see, my opinion is biased here. It's one of these three. For, like, kind of farming content, this is such a good relic. It's like the free-to-play Kyo, right? So for farming content, it's such a beautiful character to have, but again, you might not need it. So go for this. If you're running Sin's Team and whatnot, it's a very good relic to have, but if you're not running Sin's Team, you don't need it. See what I mean? So that's there. If you're running Human Team, you kind of want this. That's why I say it's these three in order, or just in whatever order you choose. If you're running Demon Team and you want like an easy team here and there for farming content, whether it be a final boss or a PvE boss, it's pretty nasty. This over here is for Sin's Team for PvP, or wherever else you want to use it. That is there. This over here is just being very strong for demonic beasts and whatnot. It's just, it helps, correct? It does really help. So that is there. Liz, if you're still using her, which you're mostly not, so no. This over here, if you're using DN for PvP or PvE related content, this character obviously revived the whole PvE use. So again, you can use that. Very powerful relic for the Demon King also, and that's what I would kind of recommend. LV Melly kind of has fallen off completely. No one really uses him, but if you want to use LV Melly, you're gonna have to go for that one. AM Melly's relic is very good for mainly chaos mode in PvP, and outside of that, hero arena, correct? He's a very cheese character for that, so if you do have his relic, you're going to be cooking if you're using that cheese team. This is also very good too, by the way. If you're using that cheese team, this is very good for that cheese team. This is basically useless in my opinion, but yeah, this is good for the cheese team. This is good if you're using LR Zeldris. So again, my order, in my fullest opinion, will be her into one of these three, depending on what you want. If you run humans, go for this. If you don't run humans, you run Sins of PvP, go and use this. You don't use those two, you just want to farm characters faster or just content faster. He's pretty kind of niche to have. That is, again, after this. How dare I forget? This is second. Okay, this is second. These are useless. This is good for PvE if you're using her. Very, very good relic. This is good for the cheese team if you're using that. And then again, this is very good for LR Zeldris, as mentioned, and the cheese team. So that's where it currently stands. Hopefully it was kind of easy to understand. It depends on what you use and how you're using it. If you're not using any characters listed, why are you crafting it? You know what I mean? That's kind of there. My yell over here, craft it when you get it. Other than that, it's going to take a while to get relics in there. It's going to be probably one every 2 months or one every month maybe. And by the time we get the farming unit, it'll be like 6 months from now. So yeah, you got plenty of time till that happens. All right. So with that, we'll wrap up the video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have fun. Hopefully it was easy to understand. I wanted to go through it and again give you my thoughts on everything. I could list it out for you, but again, it just depends on what you're using. So it's impossible just to put like a tier list together, because it's like, oh, I gotta describe each one and where you kind of want to use those things and what they're used for. So hey, take care. Have fun. That's been it.